A garage door can weigh as much as a grown adult. 200 pounds of wood and steel lifted with one finger on a button. No grunting, no straining. Just a soft hum from a box on the ceiling and the whole wall folds up and out of the way. It feels like a small magic trick. It is not. It is a quiet motor, one very clever spring, and a few careful safety tricks. Let us slice one open and watch it work. Start with the hard truth. That door is heavy and it has to move straight up. A small motor on the ceiling could never haul that weight on its own. Try it by hand and you feel the problem at once. So the real lifting is not done by the motor at all. It is done before you ever press the button by something already wound tight above the door. The motor only nudges. The hidden helper carries the load. Look at the bar across the top of the door. Wrapped around it is a torsion spring, twisted under enormous tension. When the door is down, that spring is fully wound, holding a huge amount of stored energy. As the door rises, the spring unwinds and gives that energy back, pushing the weight upward. It is a counterbalance. The spring wants to lift exactly as hard as gravity wants to drop. The door ends up nearly weightless, balanced in the air. Here is the elegant part. Because the spring almost perfectly cancels the door's weight, the door floats. Lift it halfway by hand and let go, and it should hang there, not slam down. That balance is the whole secret. The opener is not fighting 200 pounds. It is fighting maybe 10 or 20 pounds of leftover friction and slack. Now a small motor makes sense. It only has to break the balance gently in one direction or the other. Now meet the box on the ceiling. Inside sits an electric motor, a set of reduction gears, and a small control board that thinks. The motor spins fast but weak. The gears trade that speed for muscle, slowing the spin down and multiplying the twisting force many times over. That geared output is what finally moves the door. The board, meanwhile, listens for your remote, watches the safety sensors, and decides when to start, when to stop, and when to give up. Running from that box to the wall above the door is a long straight rail. Inside or along it lives a loop of chain, a rubber belt, or a threaded screw. The motor turns this loop, and the loop drags a small sliding block called the trolley back and forth. A single arm connects the trolley to the top of the door, so the rotation of the motor becomes a straight pull. The trolley walks toward the wall and the door rolls up. The door itself is not one solid slab. It is several panels, hinged together, riding on small wheels. On each side, a curved metal track guides those wheels from vertical to horizontal. So as the trolley pulls, the bottom panel swings inward and the whole door bends around the curve, sliding back along the ceiling. What looked like lifting a wall straight up is really rolling a flexible curtain around a corner. Much easier and far gentler on the motor. How does the opener know when the door is fully open or all the way shut? It counts. As the motor turns, a small sensor ticks off each rotation, like counting footsteps. During setup, you teach it two numbers, the count for closed and the count for open. After that, every trip is just counting back to a stored number. Reach the count, cut the power. That is why a door set up wrong will stop short or push too far. Counting is not enough on its own. What if something is in the way? So the board also watches how hard the motor is working. If the door meets a box, a bike, or a shoulder, the motor suddenly strains and draws more current than the trip should need. The board feels that spike. It decides this is not normal friction, it is an obstacle, and it instantly stops. On the way down, it does more than stop. It reverses. Near the floor sit two little boxes facing each other, one on each side of the doorway. One shines an invisible infrared beam across the opening. The other watches for it. As long as the beam lands cleanly, the door may close. But if a foot, a pet, or a child's toy breaks that beam while the door is coming down, the receiver loses the light. The opener treats that as danger and sends the door straight back up. Now the button in your car. Press it, and the remote sends a short radio message, often near 310 or 390 megahertz. But it never sends the same code twice. Each press uses a fresh number from a long secret sequence, a method called rolling code. The opener and remote share the same starting seed, so both know which number comes next. A thief who records one signal captures a code that has already expired. So watch the whole chain. You press the remote and a one-time rolling code flies through the air. The receiver checks it and wakes the board. The board confirms the safety beam is clear, then runs the motor. Gears multiply its force. The chain drags the trolley. The door bends around its curved track. The wound spring lifts most of the weight. The opener counts, turns to the stored number, watches for strain, and stops the door exactly in place. A heavy wall, lifted with one finger, turns out to be a careful handoff. The spring carries the load, the motor only tips the balance, and a beam, a current, and a secret code keep it safe. Next time you hear that hum and watch the door roll up, you will know exactly what is happening above your head. Quiet machines like this are everywhere, waiting to be opened. Thanks for watching The Cutaway. We will slice open another one soon.